Henry, real bird, and I own the land where Custer tried to cross the river over to Little Bighorn on that fateful day of June 25, 1876.
Did you own that?
I own
Did the family own that before you?
My mother owned it, and then that's how I inherited that land. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's from Old Crow Allotment Act and stuff like that. And the land was from Fort Laramie Treaty of 1851, and then again 68, and then with the Allotment Act, we got it, and so we still own it. And
you passed it down to your boys?
I give it to my boys. I got 2 boys and a girl. My share of it.
Yeah.
My share of it, and I own it with I owned it with my brothers and sisters. But anyway, growing up there, I've been able to find carbines and bullets and stuff. And my grandma would always say that her dad, Medicine Tail, found a flag there, and so we lost that flag. Some white people, government or whatever, came over and got the flag, and we never saw it after that. But that flag, my grandma would always say, go look for that flag. Anyway, as I grew older, I ended up working in Portland, Oregon in 1975 to 78. And then I have a friend there by the name of John Spence, and drove on Sioux Assiniboine reservation over to Fort Belknap. Anyway, his uncle, Ed Archambault, a Sioux Indian, said that he had a grandfather that was at the battle. And the little boys at the battle, they would, after the battle, now, Medicine Tail flows into Little Bighorn, and that's where Custer tried to cross the river. And then they killed Custer down there, but they chased the rest of his men on up into, up what they call Deep Coulee. And then on up into that ridge, and then on up into what they call Custer's Last Stand Hill. Now, that's off to the north. And then after the battle, they went in there. The women and the kids and everybody, they went in there after the battle and took cavalry shirts and caps and guns and boots and everything. And Ed Archambault says that the coins that the soldiers had, the little boys, they got the dollar coin, and they just threw them into a crevice in the banks of the Little Bighorn, and that's what I've always wanted to go after. But a lot of historians say that they never got paid in coins, but if they didn't get paid in coins, they must have brought the coins with them from St. Louis or from Fort Abraham Lincoln back up in there. But I always liked that treasure hunting story for gold and silver, and so that's there. and so we can go after her.
Let's go. Hey,
Yeah,
and then you was saying also that about where the mules was thirsty.
What?
You was also saying about where the mules was thirsty and took
Oh yeah,
off and
on
they.
that one there. Okay, now, history buffs and treasure hunters, they've scoped that area and metal detectors all over the place, and then found a body in the after the flood on the Little Bighorn. They found a body there a few years ago, and then not the whole works has been ripped apart. And I was able to, down below Custer Hill there, on the big bend there, I've been able to find carbines and bullets. But where Custer came from over on the Yellowstone and Rosebud Creek and then Davis Creek and then on into Reno Creek. Now, when Custer was coming down Reno Creek, he'd send Benteen off to the south, upstream on the Little Bighorn to make sure that the Indians weren't going to run away. And then he and Reno, they straddled Reno Creek and came down. And so as they were trotting and going fast, they left the pack train of mules. And so now these horses and mules, they drove them hard. And so the mules, they smelled that water and got into that swampy area over on Reno Creek, and they lost control of them. Some of those mules, they just went in there and wanted to roll the pack off and everything else. And so then all of that was it all fell apart. They lost control of the mules and the pack and everything else, and then they had to put it back together again, and nobody has ever used a metal detector on that swamp. And I have permission to do that, but I just haven't had, I just never put the effort into it. So those two adventures, expeditions that I have ahead of me, I'll report that when I do that. No.
So is that on the Indian reservation?
That's
or
on
is
the
that?
Croydon reservation, yeah.
And so
my cousin owns that.
I need to come up there. We need to go on a treasure
we'll
hunt,
go out
huh?
there and do it, and then put it on MSNBC.
Hey, appreciate it, Henry. Thank you.
Give it to Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.